and I wanted to just share a story, an example, if you will, of problematic people. I wanted to share the story about how a narc can get supply instantly. And this is a microcosm of the macro things that narcissists do. So here's my example. So you've got a horse track, okay? This is what narcs do, okay? And this can be extrapolated. It can be applied to what they do in life. So you've got a horse track, and people take bets at the racetrack. You know, there used to be a horse track near where I lived. And in fact, my mom used to have a horse in it, and she used to race it. She didn't race it, but she owned the horse as a teller, where you could place the bids with the tellers. But you would see all these characters out at the horse track. There would be people there every week, almost every night. Some people were addicted to gambling, and you'd see these characters that would just come out of the woodwork. And so you'd see these different things. And you had people that were from all walks of life, right? The racetrack, the horse track brought a lot of different people together, all under the same roof, betting and drinking and having fun and whatnot. So here's what a narc does. And this can be applied to life. So I heard this story, but I don't think it's true. But it's a great story. Okay, so just pretend it's true, like a narc does. They give you a story and they make you want to believe it's true. Okay, so there's this guy at the track, right? And he goes there about once a week. And he's very clever, okay? Because what he does, and he does a lot of talking, right? He's always talking. You ever see him? He's talking to somebody, and he's slapping them on the back, and he's buying them a drink or two, and he's always involved with people, okay? Have you noticed that narcs are always talking? Now, I'm not talking about the coverts. I'm talking more about the overts. The overts have to talk. They have to talk the illusion. They have to control the illusion. So they manipulate through talking. Talking's the quickest way they can get you to believe a certain way, believe a certain thing about them, a trait they have, whatever. Okay, so you got the racetrack, and you got this guy there. And this guy, he's like, everybody likes him. Well, he thinks everybody likes him, but when you observe him, he's talking to different people, right? Well, here's what this guy does, and he's very clever. So in a race, in a typical race, you have 8 horses that bet. You can bet on number 1, you can bet on number 2. You can bet all these different horses, and of course they have clever names. But anyways, you got 8 horses in the race, and some horses are stronger than others. So you've got people that they've got their glasses on, and they've got the list of all the races, and they're with their pen, and they're trying to figure out which horses are going to win, right? So you got people in there that have a need. They're trying to figure out what's the big, hey, give me the next tip, right? Everybody in that place wants to win. That's why they're betting, because when you win, you want to bet more, right? Or, I mean, you get rewarded. So what this guy does, he's really clever. So he goes around. He goes up to this guy, talks to him a little bit. And he says, hey, I'm betting on number 1, horse number 1. And the guy's like, really? Oh yeah, number 1. I know the owners of the place, and this, trust me, it's not all what it's to be. There's a little behind the scenes going on, and the other guy's like, really? He said, well, if you can get me winning on this ticket, dude, I mean, I'll share in the winnings with you. Yeah, it's 1. Okay, just up your ante. I mean, if you were going to bet $50, bet 200. I'm telling you, number 1. Great. Okay. And remember, it's the 4th race. The guy's like, oh, okay, not this race. Oh, yeah. No, it's the 4th race. Number 1, 4th race. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I won't tell anybody. Okay. So he's got that special bond, right? So this clever guy, who's at the track a lot, he walks over to this person. Hey, how's it going? How you doing? Hey, I'm Tom, blah, blah, blah. I'm kind of new in town, but hey, I know the owners. What are you doing? What's your strategy? Well, my strategy, the other guy's like, my strategy is to, I look at how many races the horse was in the previous month, and if he was in more than 3 races, I disqualify him. So I don't think he's going to be in the top, you know. So this guy's got his strategy, right? He's like, hey, it's going to be horse number 2 in the 4th race. Horse number 2, okay? All right, not this race. Horse number 2 is going to win, and horse number 2 is you know, Rough Justice or something. Okay, Rough Justice is going to win. Okay, hey man, thanks man, great. Okay, great. So you see where I'm going with this, right? Okay, goes to the next guy. Hey, you want to know a tip? I seen you. I'm watching you. You know, hey, look, I come here a lot. I know the owners. One of my buddies has one of the horses out there, and he's running in the 4th race. And trust me, I can't tell you what's going to happen, but horse number 3, that's the one you want. Okay. Really, horse number? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. It's a shoe-in, man. Don't tell anybody I said it, but I'm gonna look you up. If I win, you're gonna buy me a drink, right, dude? I mean, put big money on it. How much you bet? Put $1,000 on it, dude. Guaranteed, man. Guaranteed. Okay, so the guy, can you guys see now where you're going? Okay, goes over this guy. Hey, how you doing, man? It goes over to a lady. Okay, let's change it up a little bit. Hey, hi. Yeah, I come here. You know, I won big money last week. You did. Do you want to win big money this week? Horse number 4 in the 4th race. That's the one to go for. I'm telling you, I am a horse expert. I'm a horse whisperer. I train these horses. I know the owners. Look, you know, just trust me on this. You know, but I don't even know you. Hey, you don't have to know me. You just have to know that I can win for you. That's all you need to know. I'll look you up later, right? Oh, yeah, if I win, I'm buying you drinks. Okay, great. Hey, you know. So anyways, the guy goes around and does this with he does it 8 times with 8 different horses in the 4th race. Well, guess what's going to happen? One of the horses is going to win, right? So that's what narcs do, is they prospect. They go through all these different people to find a sucker. And they can take advantage of the circumstances around them because one of those people is going to win. And the narc is going to say, well, I told you. Okay, so blah, blah, blah. Horse number 3 wins. He goes back to the guy. Hey, I told you, horse number 3. Yeah, dude, you are amazing. Hey, look, I just try to help out because I know the business and you know, blah, 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 right? All about the narc. All about how he's there to help people. All about you know, how he has this knowledge, this special knowledge, because he knows the owners, you know. Truth is, he met the owners like once in the parking lot and said, thanks for, you know, letting me and my girl come in for free one night or something, you know. So, but he knows the owners, right? So that's what the narcs do, is they take this little thing, if they can control the circumstance better. Now, this was a little bit, there was a little bit not that they didn't control, which was which horse was going to win. But what a narc does is they figure out what aspect of that circumstance they can control, and they can control what they say to other people, and they can control what they say to 8 other people, and they can figure out the people that will be the most gullible, the targets, if you will, and they will go and they will work with each of them, give themselves some time. It's all planned out, right? And this could be supply, it could be for money, it could be just an esteem thing, right? Narcs need that. They need to feel like they're special. They need to feel like people like love them, and they're all knowledgeable, and they're right, and they're perfect, and all this. Like they're like, God, they can predict the horse race, okay? So they will work that, and then they will set up the circumstance just the right way so that they are able to harvest supply. And it's all about harvesting supply. So I don't know if this story is real or not, but it makes for a good story. It makes for a good illustration of how these people work. They take the law of the land, the lay of the land, not the law of the land. Well, it could be the law of the land, but they're able to take into account all the variables. Well, not all of them, but they think they've got all of them. There's going to be a race. Probably there's going to be a race, number 4, the 4th race tonight. And there's probably going to be 8 horses in it. And so they make their plans. So they're going to go talk to 8 different people. Tell them horse number 1 is going to win. Tell this person horse number 2 is going to win. This one, horse number 3. And then they'll figure out which horse wins. That's what they don't have control over. And then they'll go back to the person that they told the right horse to. And to me, that signifies so much. It illustrates so much of how how the mind works for a narcissist, and how they see other people struggling. Now they struggle too, right? They see people, they've got their little sheet with all the horses. Oh yeah, I wonder what this is. They see people struggling, right? They see people that need information, and so they're like, I'm going to go give that person what they want. They want information. I'm going to go give it to them. And you see what they're doing though? They're not giving. They know just as much as that other person, maybe even less than that person who's trying to predict the races. Especially somebody that's been there at the track like every week or every day, or maybe they are one of the owner's sons or something. They know maybe a little bit more than are, because there is a little bit of hanky-panky that goes on with the horse racing in general, at least the smaller ones that I used to go to when I was younger. Okay, so they don't have any more special information, but they're able to present themselves. Now, the people that, here's the thing, the other 7 people that their horse didn't win, they may still milk those a little bit for some supply too. They may say, hey, you didn't come in first, but he came in second. You still won on me, right? Yeah, because people will still win money if the horse comes in second. But the main thing is that those other 7 people, out of sight, out of mind, do they have a conscience that he played himself up? No, because he really didn't do anything wrong. He just played a game. It's just a game. It's just a game. So is it a game with people's money? Yeah, but it's their money. It's not his. So that's kind of how it works. There's no conscience behind it. There's no empathy. It's all, how can this person help me do a trick? How can this person fit into this game I want to play? And again, they look around the landscape. That person looks like they're struggling over there. I'm going to go talk to them. Oh, that person's going to go strong. I'm going to go talk to them next. And I'm going to convince them that I got the greatest information, that I'm all knowledgeable. And they're probably, so here's the thing, it might not work the second time, right? Because that's what happens. The narcs can't pull it off again, at least that trick. So they got to go on to something else. But that might be something, if it works for them once, they will be back. They will go to some racetrack every night or every weekend. They might not go to the same ones, because some people might come back and go, hey, you told me that horse was going to win and it didn't. Well, but they rotate around enough because they know that's how they think. They think very, they're very calculating, and because they're not connected to they're not getting airwaves or radio waves from their XM radio, which is in their heart. They're getting like the AM radio. They're not on the same wavelength as other people are. Okay. Trying to use a radio metaphor, but I just wanted to give you that example because I thought it was kind of fun and kind of interesting, and how there's not really anything morally wrong that's been done there, because the race is a gamble anyways. It's a bet. So there's people going around in life not really sure of what's going on, looking at their, and I used to see this all the time, and everybody's trying to figure out, well, maybe it's my number, maybe the lucky number 7 is going to come up. It's just betting. It's just random, for the most part random. Now again, there are some kinky, weird things that go on at the racetrack, with the horses. I think they drug some of them, and some of them they do different things, and I used to hear about that, but some of it was rumor too, right? Because if your horse didn't win, well, that's because I knew this was going to win. No, you didn't, but I knew this was going to win, but it didn't. And so people rationalize. You see all this denying, you see all this rationalization going on. You see people that are so sure of themselves that this horse is going to win, and they don't, they're just, it's just made up, right? They'll have a drink and they'll make it up. Like, I know it's going to win. It's got to win. It's number 8. I won the number 8 last week. Really? That makes sense. Okay. And you had people in there that were not there for entertainment. There were people in there that had this as a business idea, like, hey, I'm going to make some money to pay for rent. And so they'd take half the month's rent, and they were going to double it, right? And maybe every once in a while they would, but in the long run, the gambling wasn't a good deal for them from a business standpoint. So, say you're one of those people that is one of the 8. How would you handle yourself? Okay. So again, the narc is looking for the most vulnerable person in that racetrack, in the in the area where people buy the bids and they're sitting around, having some drinks or whatever. They're going to look for the vulnerable person. So, how would you handle that? How would you make sure that you're not one of the ones that's targeted? Well, I got some theories on that, but not as strong as the other thing I'm talking about. But I've got some ideas that maybe you knew about it. You knew this was going on, so you had knowledge, right? You knew from other people, hey, watch out for this guy because he's going to tell you something's going to win, and there's a 1 in 8 chance he's going to be right. He's going to come back to you and want a tip. He's going to want to, hey, if you want to take care of me, that's great, So that could be one of it. One way could also be knowledge of yourself and what you want. And if you're wanting to get into a horse racing thing to make money, maybe it's not the most rational thing. Maybe, and if it's entertainment, that's one thing, but you're not spending big bucks, and you're not like struggling to, see what's going to be the next horse. It's more for fun. But if you're there from a rational standpoint, that maybe you need to look at why you're there. I mean, maybe it's not a good idea to try to win money. So you're kind of being a sucker to yourself anyways by going to a racetrack trying to get rent. Okay. Basically you're betting the amount of money that you have for rent, and you're going to get rent from that. So that's so that would take you out of the picture, right? If you said, no, that's not a rational way to do it, you would be less vulnerable. You would be out of that picture. So that's one of them. That's going to be being aware of what reality is, that, hey, I've read that people don't get rich doing this, so I'm not going to do it. So I'm not going to be there for the narc. So that's one way of that self-knowledge. And then I just mentioned the other way too, which was to just not be vulnerable. Just not, you just don't want to be vulnerable. And that's having your boundaries up, right? So with that example, a 1 in 8 chance, a narc will take it, a 1 in 8 chance. Are you kidding me? They're talking anyways. Now the coverts don't talk as much. They're secretive, right? But they will manipulate things in other ways. This is more for an example of how an over will manipulate and get people in on the con. It's a con, right? It's all a game, right? Do you think that person that bet on number 6, because they were so sure, they bet like $2,000 on number 6 because the narc convinced them number 6 was going to win? See, here's the reason for the narc. The narc would tell that person, they would size them up and say, how much you betting? Well, I don't know, $500. Wow, hey, you got 2,000? Yeah, bet 2,000 on 6 in the 4th race. I'm telling you. Why would the narc do that? Well, because he can go back to that person that bet 2,000. Maybe the person wins $8,000, right? It's like a 4 to 1 or something. They win $8,000. They give the narc $1,000. The narc just made $1,000. How great is that for the narc? The narc didn't do anything except randomly tell this guy he just happened to be number 6, right? But he goes to number 3, the horse that won in that 8 horse race was number 3. He had a 1 in 8 chance of winning, right? I mean, besides odds and the strength of the horse and whatnot, it was about a 1 in 8. So he goes back to number 3. The guy bet $200, but it was a long shot, so the guy gets $1,600. He gives the narc $300. Yeah, the narc will take $300 or $200 or free drinks. It doesn't matter with the narc though as much with the money. I mean, they are about money, but here's the thing: the game, the power, the winning. That's what they really, really want. So if this guy, this is what a narc would rather have. At least this is my observation. I could be wrong, but what a guy would rather have, the guy that's telling that guy number 3, he would rather have that guy, the guy who bet on number 3 and won, buy the narc a dinner and tell the narc how smart and how fabulous he is. Have a beer with him, spend 2 hours with him. The narc would just eat that up. Oh my gosh. I think the narc would rather have that than maybe even a few $100. Because now the narc has future supply that they can harvest. They get to be friends with this guy. Next thing you know, the guy's, it's the next day, hey, it was fun at the horse track last night. The narc's like, hey, what are you doing? Hey, I got a place we can go to. And of course, the narc's going to, if the guy is, see, the narc is sizing the guy up the whole time, seeing what his vulnerabilities are, seeing if the guy will, like, he'll buy him dinner the next night, or hey, you want to go on a business deal with me? So there's so many things going on. There's so many opportunities that the narc has when he gets that FaceTime with that person, and that person has that. It's almost like a halo effect. Like they see that that narc plays on that halo effect. That he looks like he's just a rock star, right? He looks incredible. He looks like he knows, because he predicted this horse was going to win. He told this guy to bet as a long shot, bet $300 on it, it'll win. Boom, the guy won. So now he's got this relationship with this guy, and then the narc will just again see the vulnerabilities and just test. So hope that helps you learn some things tonight. I love these illustrations. Had a lot of thoughts. I flew out here on a plane, but I'm in Florida and I'm in deep thinking mode. So I want to bring up these stories to you guys because I love these stories. These people are so interesting, and hey, they conned us, right? Kind of, sort of. No, won't happen again though. But anyways, we'll love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Bye.